I might just pull her like a face ray in the back with a bitch. I might just pull her like a face ray in the back with a bitch.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Breeze Shooters podcast show. And this is the ride along segment. I'm your host, Lou, and I'm joined today by the lovely Miss Laura Khan. Welcome, Laura.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, it's always a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris unfortunately had a doctor's appointment, couldn't make it today, but we are blessed to have Laura with us. Laura will be with us via remote. And before I begin, today's show is brought to you by the Social Nostra Network. It's a network for real people talking about intriguing topics. So, Laura, happy belated Mother's Day. How was your Mother's Day?
Thank you so much. So Mother's Day was pleasant. So I spent it with my ex in-laws and my ex BD. Yeah.
How was that? Was it weird or
No, I mean, yes and no. So my ex was like flirting with me, which is like, okay. It's like, all right. It's funny because so when we were leaving, I shook his hand. I was like, thank you. This is nice. And remember how back in the day when you'd shake a girl's hand and you would do like in her palm with the middle finger?
Oh yeah. Oh no, he did the little scratching of the palm to let you know that was right. That what was the meaning of that? DTF or whatever you want to hook up? Yeah, got you.
Yeah, right. So he did that. I almost fell on the floor. I was like, wow. All right. But yeah, it was good. It was pleasant. My family came, my aunt and cousins. So, listen, we have a child together. So, however, we got to keep the peace. No,
absolutely. Co-parenting, it's I see it in certain circumstances where it actually kind of works out better for the couple because I think they're in a different place in their life where they're a little bit more mature and they could kind of come together just to to raise the child well, and there's really no riff going back and forth as long as you keep it if you keep it cool and there's no hooking up again, that creates problems. But no, kudos to you and your ex for still being involved in your child's life. What do you have, a boy or girl?
I have a girl.
How old?
16.
Oh, okay. She's a young woman.
Yeah. She is. She's good. Getting ready to go to college in another year. So
wow,
it's all good stuff. How about you? So your mom, your wife, girlfriend, like what's your Mother's Day like? What are you doing for the ladies in your life?
I'm not a big romantic, but I try. So what I did was we had 3 children together. So what I did was I go out and get the cards for all the kids, trying to closely, match their personality and the type of relationship they have with their mom. And then, I'm like, hey, make sure you fill this out. Make sure you say something sweet to the mom, whatever. And then what I did was I purchased a bunch of scratch-offs because she wanted to go to Atlantic City. But what happened was the weather was so crappy because we wanted to go out Saturday. We was trying to avoid all the crowds on Sunday. Plus, her family was doing something together. So she didn't want to go to Atlantic City. She goes, listen, all I really want to do is just lay out on the sofa and watch TV. I said cool. I'm cool with that. We ordered some Chinese food. We hung out. The kids were gone. So, she just got to, relax and be by herself. In the morning, my youngest son and I, we prepared breakfast, bought her some flowers. All the kids gave her the cards. Of course, none of the scratch offs. She didn't win any money, so she was like, "That sucks."
Yeah.
And and then Sunday we went to her in-laws who had a barbecue, and she always has a good time with her family. So that was cool. That kind of worked out. That was Alex.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have actor Robert Michaels, who will be joining me in law later. And I believe the film director Alex Hugo will also be joining us. So Law, who also has a project coming up with him, so that's pretty cool. You'll get to speak to Alex.
Yeah.
So Robert appeared in a movie called Show and Tell, which debuted in 1998. In 2008, he also worked on another film called Lost Chai. and most recently he did the Bully. He did Bully the Rico Story, and he's currently working on a film that's called White Lily, by film director Alex Hugo. And I'm getting word that Alex Hugo will be joining us along with actor Robert Michaels. So that should be pretty good. We should talk to them. And then once we get Law back on, we'll pick up the conversation. So I really wanted to talk to Law about the David Chappelle tackle that happened the other day. He was where was he? He was doing the Netflix Joke Festival at the Hollywood Bowl, and this young guy just stormed the stage. It looked like he had like some type of makeshift gun, but it wasn't actually a gun. It had a knife inside, and he attempted to tackle Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle kind of sidestepped, and the guy went by. And Dave's entourage, they threw this guy a massive beating. I mean, body parts would break your back. No, I was just telling our listeners, but you know what? We could get back to that. While I have you on, before the actors get here, why don't you plug some of the things that you're working on and where folks could find you? And guys, Laura appears on the Breeze Shooters podcast weekly. She has her segment, which is called Law's Dilemma. And I got to tell you, Laura, the feedback has been really good. Folks are really enjoying it. Please interact, shoot her messages, shoot us messages. It's a weekly segment, and we want your feedback, and that's how that segment will continue to grow and more people will get to know about it. But Laura, back to you. Why don't you plug some of the things you're working on and where folks could plug in and tap in and find out about things that you're doing.
Sure. So I'm really more active on Instagram, and my handle is LAWS _ dilemma, DILEMMA, Law's Dilemma, which was, where I get on and I answer my friends' dilemmas. They call me up with different relationship situations, and they ask my advice on what I think, how I think they should handle.
My friend calls me up. She's like, Laura. She's like, I got a family dilemma. I said, shoot. She's like, my stepmom passed away, and the siblings are all in a little bit of a panic because of situations. Everybody's been estranged from the stepmom for quite some time. The sibling reached out to my friend and was like, we're going to cremate the body because of financial reasons. Would you contribute to the burial? My friend was like, I don't know how I feel about this because my relationship was terrible with this person. She's like, Laura, I don't know what to do. I think you have to sit with this, and I think you have to honor whatever feelings you have. And if you don't want to contribute, you got to go with that. But I want to know what you guys think, because this is a situation.
I think they should handle it. And disclaimer, I am not a trained professional at all.
You played one on TV before.
Right. But I feel I have a lot of life experience, and just always try to advise coming from a place of love and understanding why people do the things that they do, more than, like my husband cheated on me, like dump that son of a bitch. No, maybe he cheated on you because he felt he was ugly and wanted to be validated. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So just try to give a little more insight to things. So I have Law's Dilemma. I have a podcast up on YouTube, The Laura Khan's Experience, and I interview creatives, a lot of artists, and picking their brain on what inspires them, how they stay motivated. A lot of like their childhood I like to question about, because I feel that that's really where we're shaped as humans. I just dropped one. It's going to be out tomorrow. DJ Flipside, pretty well-known DJ. He's in the whole club circuit. He his interview is up. We shot it at Blue in Midtown. Beautiful space. It's a club. So that's out tomorrow. And for right now, I think that's enough.
Wow.
Because I'm a mom. I'm a mom and a hairdresser, right? Yeah, so that's what I'm up to. Yeah.
I could, and we went over this. Guys, you can also catch Laura's interview with us. And she talked about her profession, because being a hairdresser, for me, that's gold in terms of content, stories. And Laura does a phenomenal job of just bringing those stories, I guess putting her twist on it, and really, kind of make it, putting it out there in a way where it's helpful. It's also entertaining. So Laura does a lot of different things with the stories, and she's really great at recanting these stories. So got to check her out. You could catch her on her platforms. You can also catch her each week on the Breeze. And we're back. Welcome back to Breeze Shooters Podcast. Laura, you still with us?
I am.
Cool. So Laura, let's get into the state of comedy. The whole, first we had the smack that happened to Chris Rock, and now recently we had the tackle attempt at David Chapelle during the Netflix what is that called again? The Netflix It's a Joke Festival at the Hollywood Bowl. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that whole situation?
Oh man, I have so many thoughts. So, right, the first question is, I could curse, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Where the fuck is security? Like, guys, what are we doing here? Like, we're on our phones, like we're smoking weed in the back. Like, come on, man. That is unacceptable.
Absolutely.
Unacceptable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, not for nothing, Law, security would have probably helped that guy, because the beating that he got on stage was really bad. You saw his arm. I don't know if you saw the memes going around. They turned his arm inside out. It was like, instead of pointing forward, it was positioned forward, but it was pointing backwards. It was like some weird thing. And Dave Chapelle started talking about, I always wanted to stomp somebody out. Now I know what it feels like. Like all his boys got in on it. But did you hear the reason why the gentleman stormed the stage?
Not fully. I know that he's like he wants to be a rapper, and he made a song about Dave Chapelle, but I didn't get the whole. Please enlighten me.
Okay, so what I heard was that Dave Chapelle insisted to security that, hey, I got to meet this guy because I got to find out why it wasn't sitting well with him. So Dave Chapelle, who he is. He was able to, finagle to go there. He spoke with the guy, and the guy told him, well, I was just trying to bring attention. He goes, I was trying to get attention so I could shine light on gentrification that was happening over in his grandmother's neighborhood. It was like a weird response, but that's what he said he did. He said he did it for attention. So, and the crazy thing is that they're not pressing. They dropped the felony charges, and now this guy could possibly sue David Chapelle. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. But this is the state of affairs. This is the world that we're living. So, right, and I don't know if you heard this, but I did a little research on it, and the security company that was supposed to be doing their job is the same security that was involved in the Travis Scott Astro World stampede.
Really?
And also, and they also were involved in, I'm probably going to say this wrong, 2017, there was some concert or something, and it was, in Vegas. That shooting in Vegas?
Not the mass shooting with the guy that he kind of like he bunkered up, and he had like all these guns, and he was shooting. He killed a lot of people, if I remember it correctly. Yeah, and he was a well-off guy too. It's just like a random shooting type thing.
So this is the same security company.
Oh, that's not good.
They're like, no. So they've been involved in like many lawsuits and things like that. So. To me, I just feel like whether you're a star or there has to be better protection. Like even Will Smith and that whole thing, Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Like this man literally just walked on stage and he just clocked this guy without even blinking, just bang, and nobody bum rushed the stage to grab him.
No, you're
like,
absolutely right.
What? And the thing that infuriates me about that is that this isn't cable TV. This is regular TV. So you have families, children, everybody's watching this. This is a network that is supposed to be a family network. And this is what you're allowing. This is what you're putting. I don't know. I don't like it at all.
No, you're absolutely right. And you know, like all things, right? Things get trendy. And so now you have these two events that happen pretty close to each other. Is this going to be a continuous thing? It was funny because I had Mark Vieira on. He's a comedian as well. Oh, sorry about that. And I said, is it safe for comedians to be on stage? He goes, yeah, it's safe. And then shortly after he's in the studio, but I mean, we're probably security's gonna have to reposition themselves now and probably have somebody man the stage because this is not good when people are just running up. And for comedians too, out of all people, I mean, I can understand if it's at a political rally and you don't agree with the agenda. Not that it's right, but I mean that's something of substance. Comedy is comedy. They're there to make you laugh and be happy. But
now listen,
mm-hmm.
This is how I feel in the security. Forget these paid big security companies. I'm sure Dave Chappelle's got a couple of fucking neck breakers that are his homeboys. All he's got to do, those homeboys are going to fucking watch that stage better than these security companies. Forget that.
You're right. That's why the guy looked like he did.
They have a couple of boys from the neighborhood, couple off the corner. Come on, guys. Exactly. I got a job for you.
And they'll do it on the cheap, too. They're not going to kill you. They might do it for free. They're like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah, right? Throw them a dime bag. They'll be happy. Is that a thing anymore? Dime bags and nickel bags?
I'm so out of tune with that. But you're right. That's my time, dime bags, nickel bags. They don't talk like that no more. I don't know what's going on.
Right? Yeah. So anyway.
So what I did, because I know you're a hip hop head, and who are some of your favorite artists that you enjoy listening to?
So I'm definitely like I'm old school.
Okay.
Like Run DMC, and then Nas, Jay-Z, Big Pun,
yes.
Biggie. Who else? I'm trying to think. I can't think right now.
But
yeah,
you name all the top guys.
And then the DJs, old school DJs, Grandmaster Flash. Was he a DJ?
Yeah.
But the beginning of hip hop.
Yep.
Like.
Yeah. No.
I love that.
No. Wow. So you are a real hip hop head. And the reason why I bring it up is because Kendrick Lamar dropped a song and video yesterday, and it's catching a lot of buzz because in the song he's kind of speaking to the current state of the culture, and he kind of referenced Jussie Smollett. He references O.J. Simpson, Nipsey. He also talks about the Will Smith thing, and he does it where like they're kind of like defacing his character. Defaking his character, I think it's called, and that's when they kind of crop out the face and they put his face in. So, and it's talking about that, he's kind of saying I'm everyone, in terms of like, he could kind of relate to all the different situations and stuff. Did you get a chance to hear your thoughts? What do you think about it?
I heard a little bit of it. Somebody posted, I'm going to be mad about this. It was a line from the song.
Okay.
And I wanted to post it, but I'm not going to lie. I felt a little like I shouldn't because of my race. I almost felt like maybe people would sit there and say, well, what does she really know about that? Because she's really not of the culture. But I felt like it was a universal message, and that's what spoke to me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what line in the song it was. I'm going to try and find it. But I feel that it is a powerful song.
No, it is.
It's yeah, it's definitely not going to be like a mainstream
Mhm.
type of song, but it's got a very big message, and I think that the people that are in tune with what's going on are going to really appreciate it.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And it's funny because I caught it this morning. I caught like the tail end, and I was like, okay, because with me, I have to kind of sit with music and listen to it to a couple of times to catch especially with rap, because everything's kind of like, not everything, but like with a lyricist like Kendrick, a lot of his stuff is subliminal, or it's like,
Yeah,
punch phrases and stuff like that. So I like to
yeah.
listen to it a couple of times before I make an assessment. But then they told me there was a video, and I started to look at the video. I was like, wow, this is a really cool concept. I think it will do well. But the crazy thing is, I think Kanye West had dropped a video too. Forget the name of the song, on the same day. And as soon as he dropped it, I guess Kendrick might have dropped, and they didn't know there was no communication between the crews or whatever. So Kanye quickly pulled his video off because I guess he doesn't want to be overshadowed by Kendrick's. But what are your thoughts on Kanye? Like the whole Kanye and Kim thing. You think that she should give him another chance? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
So I just pulled up the line. Can I just say it quick?
Sure. Only if you could spit it in the hot freestyle. No, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I don't do that. Like, no, no, no. So it's Charlemagne posted it, and it says, "In a land where hurt people hurt more people, fuck calling it culture." And then he does this whole meme about, you know, trauma, what trauma looks like in people, and all, the different traits of how you grew up.
Yeah.
So like that is so powerful to me. So powerful. That's why I said I don't feel that it's a culture thing. It's just a human thing. It doesn't matter whether we're white, black, Asian, Spanish. Like, if you've been through trauma in your life, you carry that with you forever.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he I want to say he's, for at least for me, I think he's one of those rappers that when it's all said and done, he'll probably be up there on the top 5 if he's not there already, because he's so good and deliberate on his songs and the messages within the songs, which is, for me, I really appreciate it, because, and I don't want to sound like an old head, but a lot of the music that you hear now is just like, it doesn't have no substance. It's like, yeah, it's a
No,
club banger, it gets people out the seats, but there's nothing behind it. I like, I want a little variation. I want to be, I want to be challenged. I want to be spoken to. I want to be made aware of things. And, sometimes art is the best place to do that. But I do appreciate him for that. And he hasn't made a song or album in 5 years, which means which is telling me that this project is going to be really good, because he had a lot of time to think about stuff, and there's so much content out there with all the craziness going on in the world. There's just so much to speak about. um Speaking of that,
for you.
I'm gonna get serious on you for a little sec. Well, not too serious, but what are your thoughts on the whole thing that's happening now with the women's right, in regards to abortions, on how they're trying to control that? What are your thoughts from a woman's perspective?
So I think it's disgusting. I think that a woman absolutely should have the right to choose. Um, I believe that I think Tennessee or Kentucky
Hmm.
might have pulled Plan B, that Plan B pill.
Hmm.
And if you want it, I don't know, it's like this crazy, crazy amount. Um, Listen, I feel like there are women out there that use abortion as maybe a form of birth control.
Hmm.
Again, it's your body. You know what I'm saying?
No,
It's your body. Your body's going to bear the weight of all of these procedures. So that's going to have an effect on you down the road. I do believe that you should not have an abortion at 8, 9 months. And I know that this is the whole controversy,
hmm.
when is it life? But I believe that it's a woman's body, and she should have the right to choose no matter what. And that's it.
I'm in agreement with you. I think it is definitely a woman's choice, but it's unfortunate, but you do have some women that could kind of abuse that, and that's why I guess they
Yeah.
feel like they have to step in. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to do that to folks that are going to fast food joints or, abusing
Right.
alcohol, then how are you going to tell a
Right.
woman how and when she should be able to do something to her body? So it's either you do it across the board, which then you're no longer a democratic state, you're something else. But no, I totally agree with you. Man, I just had something on my mind and it totally bypassed me. I'm
Well, we were
sorry.
doing. You briefly touched on Kim and Kanye.
Yes, there you go. Because
I don't know if you. Okay.
because you know what it, because I see you. I see the way you move. You're in a lot of photos, you're in a lot of different things. So I for me, you have what they call it, like you're one of those social influencers. And it's when I look at Kim, I'm like, it got to be tough to live in her life because everything you do is so powerful. So my question is, does she give Kanye a chance and try to kind of live like a normal life, or does she continue on with her business? Like, what are your thoughts?
So I have watched the new season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. He is in her life. And I've also read, which I thought was kind of a joke, but then after seeing them on the show, he said that he would give up doing what he does to be her stylist. So I believe that they do have somewhat of an amicable relationship. Um, but I will tell you the episode I saw, which everybody's kind of talking about, when he got the tape back from Ray J, the sex tape, he looked very disheveled. And you could see it in his face and in his eyes that he didn't look like Kanye early years, if that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. I think it's weighing heavy on him, and
Yeah.
Laura, I don't know how much you could also contribute that to his mental health. I
So
I
yeah.
don't know if he's neglecting taking or being compliant with whatever medicine he needs to take, but you could tell
Right.
there's is definitely he doesn't look his normal self. He's kind of like aging.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he really, like I said, he didn't look like himself. And that made me feel really bad because I really sympathize with him because of the mental health issues and being a creative.
Absolutely.
Um, I feel like I relate a little bit to him. Um, but but on the flip side of it, I gotta tell you, Pete Davidson and Kanye's little bang of heads is giving me fucking life.
But Pete Davis, how does he finagle that? That's my thing. He's like, I I can't see the difference. You understand? I don't see how she goes from there to Pete.
Crazy. I totally agree with you. It's like apples and oranges, literally.
Hey, Laura.
But Pete Davidson is funny.
No, he is. He is funny. Staten Island guy. Hey, Laura. What I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna play a little bit of music. I want you to stay on the phone because you're gonna be asking some questions. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we have. I'll introduce everyone as soon as we get.
I'm doing donuts in my name.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Breeze Shooters podcast. And we have the talented Robert Michaels in the house. We have Alex Hugo. We have Lamar. And we have my man Cherokee. Cherokee, no guns, right? All right, cool. No guns. So, Robert, you could put the headset so you can hear me. So, Robert, you're in the new upcoming film by Alex Hugo called White Lily. Can you hear me? You
I can
good?
hear you perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
I am.
Cool. So,
Yep.
cool.
I'm just checking.
Um, so tell us about the film. Tell us about the project.
Sure. It's like Criminal Minds on crack.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, it's about a serial killer,
Okay.
and it's a little bit different because you see how he becomes that,
Okay.
throughout the film. and he's like a mellow guy, and then all of a sudden, like stuff happens to him that just moves him throughout, and then all of a sudden he is a combination of Jason, Freddy, and pretty much anybody you can think of, and hopefully we're going to be scaring a lot of people when they watch it.
Listen, let me tell you, from the little teaser that I saw when you came out that subway, I'm like, I'm not messing with homeboy. She's on her own. So, I'm sorry. On the phone, we have Laura Cons. Alex, you know her, right? She's gonna be
Absolutely.
in there. Yeah. So,
That's my girl right there, Laura.
Laura, hello.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
hey, Laura, feel free to jump in whenever you want to. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, this type of movie, have you ever done something similar to this type of role?
I usually play like bad guys, but not this.
Not this
Not
time.
this type.
Yeah.
Yeah, not this outrageous. And it was funny because a couple of weeks ago we were filming, and one of the girls says, before we start, she goes, "You seem too nice to do this," and the other girl said, "Wait and see what happens."
It's funny. You brought us to a good point. Being a regular guy, how do you transition? Like, what are the techniques that you use to transition to get into that mindset, that role? And is it hard kind of separating yourself once you're in that moment? Like, like when you transitioning back, does it just happen automatically, or does it take a while for you to kind of like wind down and go back to regular Rob?
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, I use things that have happened to me in my life.
Okay.
Everybody's been bullied, picked on. Maybe not Brad Pitt or something like that. Everybody's been, bullied, picked on, and you use that, and you put yourself in that place, and you focus, and then afterward, it is hard to shake. You have to kind of chill out. After we film, I'll go home, maybe watch a baseball game or something silly.
Got you.
And yeah, so you do have to like rid yourself of that, but you just use what's happened to you in the past.
Gotcha.
And you think about that, and you just do it.
We kind of just jumped into it, but why don't you tell the listeners your background? I know you do more than acting. You also direct and you write. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's true. I write and direct. I directed a feature film called Lost Chi.
Okay.
Which is a dark comedy about guys in really bad relationships with women, which nobody can relate to, unfortunately.
Hello.
Hello. And,
Really? Really?
and the thing, though, is...
You know who you're talking to?
That's the queen of fucked up relationships.
And
Come on.
The thing is that we show both sides. We show the women and the men.
Okay.
And it's funny. It's dark. It's sad. It's perverted a little bit. All the good things in a movie. And chi is your life force.
Gotcha.
And it has a double. The meaning has the title has a double meaning. Lost chi. So if someone is like obsessed with sex and has sex problems or masturbates chronically, you lose your chi. So the title works in two different levels. Yeah, so I've directed that. I also I act. I do a lot of theater. I've been over 50 stage plays.
Wow.
I'm throughout the country. I'm going to be going to Utica for a weekend. I'm filming I just got cast in a film in Utica.
Oh, nice.
This summer in August, first week of August. And I've worked with a lot of great people. One of my mentors was Earl Hyman.
Okay.
Who was the grandfather on the Cosby Show.
No, really?
Yeah.
He's a musician, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played the jazz.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I met him when I was 18, and we were, was very tight with him. He really helped me a lot, to understand acting, and was a great guy. He passed in 2017, and I worked with him a lot. And one of my other mentors, Ernie Martin, who was the head of the Actors Studio in California, and I worked with these guys very, very, hand in hand. They taught me a lot about the industry. I'm in a theater group now called Wednesday Repco Company, which Bruce Ornstein is the head of. I actually met Alex in Bruce Ornstein's class.
Yeah.
Bruce actually is a cool dude. He played Gus in Saturday Night Fever.
Wow.
The guy who got beat up.
Yeah.
So,
Classic.
yeah, classic. Yeah. So I worked with him, and I'm doing some writing now, and hopefully I want to get Alex to direct something that I've written. We'll see. I haven't even talked about it till now. But
Oh, this is the best time to surprise them.
He just brought it up right now.
yeah, just right now. But I love, Alex is a phenomenal director, and I've really seen his growth. I started working with him on Bully,
Yeah.
and I played Danny House on Bully.
You did a really good job on that, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I saw that.
He's a twisted,
Yeah.
another twisted man.
You got to tell Alex to let you out the box. You can do something else.
well, actually, we were talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see more of that in my project. I wanted to see more diversity in.
Yeah.
Because I know he's versatile. So we have a couple of things in play where he's gonna play like this like a guy like a boxing promoter.
Okay.
A boxing promoter going through a lot of trials and tribulations, and him and the lead actor are going to be doing something. So that's something that's going to be worked on in 2023. But for 2022 is basically he's going to be the scariest motherfucker on this planet.
Listen.
You know, that's the aim. When I met him back in Ornstein's class, we had to do some stuff together, like some readings, and I was a New Jack in acting. I've been doing films before that. But he came to me and he said, "Man, I like the way you did that. You know how you portrayed that character, and I never seen it." So I'm like, "All right, cool." I'm actually impressed with his acting ability because the day I seen him do something first, he was like with that girl Devin,
Yeah.
and he was acting like a molester or something like that,
yeah.
a pet. And he went in, and I was looking at him. I'm like, damn, this guy could really fuck. Either he's a real pedophile, or this guy could really pull it off. So when he did that, it kind of intrigued me. We both started to we start like talking to each other, communicating, and becoming cool. And I said, look, once I leave this class, I'm not going to be here for long. I only went to that class just to learn how to act. To be a good director, I needed to learn how to act so I could direct actors better, you know?
Absolutely.
So that's what I went there for, not the intentions to be an actor. I just wanted to just learn the acting craft. And I got good at it. You know, it was natural. I'm very dramatic by nature. So I was like, all right, I'm good with this. But so we did the Bully thing, and I recruited him really quickly. He actually we work great together on set.
Nice.
Because I'll have a script and he'll look at him like, okay, how about if I do this? I said, go knock yourself out, do it. And he does it even better than I imagined. And I'm like, this fucking guy, man, this guy's wicked. So I always told him, hold off, because I got something coming. And you're going to be the lead role for this. And it was White Lily. And White Lily, like he mentioned, it's going to be something where I want the intentions of this is for women to be scared to ride a train that night, walk through the parks. In New York, because every time you see these scary movies, it's always like in freaking Ohio or some shit.
Yeah.
Right, they're in the woods.
It's not really. It's scary. New York is scary as
New York is scary as
I was just gonna say, I don't need a movie to make me scared of driving the train, or walking in Central Park. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm gonna make you more terrified, Laura. Like you're
Thank
scared
you.
already. You're already scared
Thanks,
of the
Alex.
situation. Now I got this
Thank
white
you.
guy in a maintenance outfit, walking through regular neighborhoods, and really and stirring up the algorithms in the urban community, you know.
I want to jump on that, Alex. We were filming somewhere in the Bronx, like some shady area in the Bronx, and some train.
Oh yeah.
And so how he disposes of his bodies is he uses a needle and gets him in the neck. Anyway, so what happens is, what I love about Alex is everything is very realistic and it's very gritty.
Mm-hmm.
So we're there, and I grab the girl, I drag her back, and I kill her. So there's a guy watching, and he's just watching, and I drag the girl, and he goes, cut. And the guy goes, "Phew." He goes, "I'm glad you guys are filming a movie because the last time I got involved in something like this, the girl got mad at me."
Oh my God!
100% true.
Only in the Bronx, man.
Only in the Bronx.
Anytime we shoot, people really think it's happening.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I'm hiding on the cut and I'm letting him do his thing. Like, and remember the scene in the park where you just like grab one of the girls by the neck in the park and you stabbed her. The other girl ran. There was two guys walking towards us. They started running too.
No, really? Yo,
Oh my
better
God.
two civilians than cops, man. 'Cause the cops freeze.
Oh, we had cops the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Lucky that on set I had one of my actors. She's a retired sergeant.
Okay.
So they was trying to like take us down because we had like cop uniforms and a lot of law enforcement stuff, real realistic. And they was being assholes. We wasn't doing nothing wrong. They just wanted to be fucking dicks. So they was asking questions and then trying to lock us up. And then she came out of nowhere. She said, "I'm your superior." Pulled out a badge and they ran.
Wow.
Yeah, and she's retired.
What?
But so lucky I had her. Shout outs to Jolie. If she wasn't there, I don't know. She impressed me. After that, I was like, "Yo, you the fucking truth. You gotta roll with me everywhere."
That's what I'm thinking. She's in every film moving forward.
Moving forward, she got a job, yo. She got a job.
So let's go back to White Lily for a second. Where are you in terms of the recording? How far along are
So
you?
we got 2 days left.
Okay.
I'm pretty much. He has 1 day left. It's just the final scene we got to shoot, and then I have like a day there. I got to shoot the investigation part, like the cops looking for the murderer, and that's it. And we're done.
Gotcha.
It's gonna come out fairly September, October during the Halloween season.
Smart.
So-
That's what you definitely wanted out
So
by then.
that's it. And then it's gonna. I could picture Party City having like a mask of Robert Michael's face in by 2023. I guarantee.
You know what draws me to you? You have that stoic look, like a Nicolas Cage. Like when they're looking at you, and it's like you're frozen, and you're like, "Is he mad? Did I offend him? Or he's just thinking?" And it's like it's going to take you. I mean, it has taken you far in terms of acting, but it's very unique. And when Alex paired you, I said, I see it. It makes sense. And I really hope that the film does well. And I know it's going to do well. I like the action scenes, man. Oh boy, it was coming down rolling down the hill.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, Alex taking the next level, man.
That scene it was.
By the way, Chris wants to be a stunt man. If you have any roles,
He can roll down the hill anytime. That shit is funny. That shit is funny. Yeah, we trying to take it to the next level. Like in Bully, I did. It was a drama, so it was more static camera, a couple of the comments, dialogue, heavy on the dialogue. Every project after that, I was like, I'm gonna up my grade. I'm gonna up, and I got my man right here, Cherokee. You know him.
Yes.
He's my cinematographer.
Yes.
For a couple of my projects, he's back in town. He came back last night. Yesterday. He came back yesterday. So we're gonna, after this film is done, it don't stop. We have 4 more films this summer that we shooting.
Damn.
So we going ham. Me and him are working on Big Italy, which Laura Collins on the phone is starring in.
Hi.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've been working on Big Italy this summer. We're working on Mia. That's a project I'm working with Sniper Slugs. About a girl that she goes to the foster care system.
Okay.
Gets raped by her stepfather. So she has a whole bunch of stuff. I want to make people cry with that film.
Wow.
I have Crosstown, where I'm working with my man Carlos Slusher. He's the executive producer on this one and co-writer. That's something like we're gonna take it to like more action-packed, a journey through one day, like a training day type of thing.
Nice.
And a couple of others I'm not gonna bore you with, but things are really in motion. And
Mr. White.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Mr. White. How can I forget about Mr. White? So Mr. White is the next film he's actually in, which is a horror flick. So right now you have a suspense thriller with White Lily, but Mr. White is about a group of people that go to an Airbnb and everybody start fucking dying.
That sounds like
So
fire.
I can't really tell you too much of the
That
plot.
sounds like fire.
But this
I'm
guy.
never leaving my house.
Yes. So it's gonna be somewhere
Between
in
the
the woods.
subways and Airbnbs, I'm good.
Oh,
Yes. So he plays a different type of character,
okay.
more really, really dark, but you know you really can't tell. It's very hidden, but
Nice.
definitely.
Hey, listen, man, Alex, kudos on all the work that you're putting out. I want a little bit of your energy level because it's insane. Because I know you we all got our 9 to 5s, but you still find a way to do it. The city is kind of back to normal. Are you finding it hard to work with more people out versus when it was like pandemic time?
Man, I don't give a F about the people. I'm guerrilla cinema to the max. You know what I'm saying? Like I find a location. I say we're gonna do it right here. The more people, the better, because I blur them out in the background. It looks more realistic.
Gotcha.
But honestly, like as long as the cops don't come and stop me, I don't really care. Like we're gonna go at it until we get this real production company that looks at us and say, "Yo, I want that team on our team." And then we get the permits and all that stuff. But until then, it's guerrilla cinema all day.
Absolutely.
G-Unit.
Robert, so
I love it.
I kind of glossed over it. How did you get into acting? What got you into it?
When I was in 6th grade,
Okay.
I auditioned for a play,
Okay.
and it kind of just started to do plays. And I can't sing at all. And when you're that age, they don't do like intense like David Mamet. They do musicals.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always be in a musical, and I would play the character that didn't sing.
The tree.
No, like
He's the tree.
It's like when we did West Side Story, I played Doc because Doc doesn't sing.
Gotcha.
Right? So I always played the parts of the person doesn't sing, or I'd always play the old people, like in a regular play.
I gotcha.
Because if you could act somewhat, you'd always play the old person because everybody's 14.
Mm-hmm.
And you need somebody to play the grandfather, right? Or the father, or the villain. And I was always me at 15. I used to have mustaches and I talked like this, or I talked like this. I would do all this stuff, and I just kept on doing it. And then I moved to New York, and then that's where I met Earl. I studied with him at HB, and he kind of took me under his wing. And I worked with Ernie Martin. He took me under his wing, and just started to audition and rock and roll.
And then he met Alex Hugo, and it's on. That's it. That's all you need. That's the sauce.
Real quick, stage or movies? Which one do you prefer?
Well, the cool thing about they're both different, and so like when you do a play, you're in charge.
Gotcha.
Right, so it's like you're on that tightrope from the first act to the third act or second act. It's only you.
Mm-hmm.
When you do a film, Alex Hugo's in charge because it's the director. So he goes, cut.
Gotcha.
And it's in little bits. You don't do it straight through. And so I like them both for different reasons.
You know what? That's the first time I ever heard it put like that. And that makes so much sense. So what I just took from that is that you get more fulfillment when you're doing your stage because you're kind of going through your whole routine in the whole
you go from, if you play somebody, say, in a play, and in the beginning, you're a nice guy, then throughout the play, you become an alcoholic and you murder your wife at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You do that, man. There's no cut.
Exactly.
You have an audience and you have to do that. And, you go up on a line, you make it up on the spot. You don't, where if someone drops a line on film, it's like, I continue, as Alex knows. I never stop, but most people will stop. Like, what am I supposed to say? When we did Bully, I started to quote Shakespeare. And the mafia guy is like quoting Shakespeare, and he loved it so much that we started every Danny house. There was always a little Shakespeare in there.
Nice.
They write it in.
Yeah, it was nice. It gave him some character.
But so when you do a film, it's really a director's medium.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to obviously trust the director because the director can really, between the director and the editing, they can make or break a performance.
I always give this guy kudos because he checks his pride at the door. He's all about the art when he's in the moment, and he's very inclusive, and you receive ideas on the spot. I've been around other people sometimes where when they're working on their baby or their project, they don't want to hear nobody. And what it does, it limits the project.
Absolutely.
So that's one thing I like about you, Alex. And I think that's what's going to take you far. And that's what's going to separate you from a lot of people. You're open-minded and you let things kind of evolve in the moment.
I agree.
Which is good. Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
And what else he does too is you'll do something on set. And then we did something a couple of weeks ago and he called me and then he said, look, based on what you did, I want to do this and this. So not only does he let you do stuff, but then when you do stuff, he thinks he just doesn't go home, and chill out. He thinks, based on what you did, let's do this, let's try this, this, and this, which just really elevates the project.
That's the beauty of the process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kudos to your wife too, because I know you work late hours. Sometimes I'll text him 12 in the morning. He goes, "Nah, I really don't need a lot of sleep." I was like, "Alex, get your ass to bed."
Yeah. She does her own thing, and I do my own thing. And we're going to Miami this weekend, so we'll celebrate then.
Nice. Listen, this time take the sweater off before they throw you in the pool, man.
Yeah.
Well, we're up against the clock. Where could people reach out to you, find you, and name some of your older films so folks can kind of go back and look at it?
Sure. Yeah. Well, Lost G. Also was in a film in Showtime called Show and Tell. Which comes off the top of my head. Obviously, Bully.
Absolutely.
The
Bully Trilogy.
Bully Trilogy.
So you can find that at bullytrilogy.alexhugofilms.com, or you could wait a couple of months. It's going to be on Prime, Amazon Prime, The Rico Story, and on Tubi right now is streaming Bully the Dead Don't Die.
Nice.
So, and the Rico, The Rise of Two Kings, you can only find it on Vimeo on demand. That's an exclusive.
Oh, really? Yeah. Wow.
Nice.
And Alex, where could folks follow you, find you?
At Hugo Films, Alex Hugo Films at Gmail. Oh no, sorry, I'm all fucked up. It's the traffic.
He has like 4 Instagram handles.
Yeah, I'm like,
Instagram.
Instagram, all right.
Right.
At Alex Hugo Films, right? And then my website, just go to my website, alexhugofilms.com, alexhugofilms.com. Go there, check out what's late. I show trailers. I show stuff that, pictures of how we shooting and stuff like that. You want to know something that's coming up. You want to catch me. You want to be in my movie. Hit me up. I welcome all new. You don't even have to have fucking skills or a resume down from here to Alaska. If you persistent and you consistent and you devoted and you give me all your commitment, I can make you a star. So just hit me up and we can make this happen. All right.
You got Laura hype. She's like,
I just got.
Let's go, Alex.
Where do I sign?
I recruited Laura. So I met Laura.
Yeah, you did.
I recruited Laura. Like I do tomorrow. I know you don't got that much time, but when I met Laura, she was just popping on the gram and it kept on being in my feed. And I'm like, who's this chick? Yeah. So I hit her up. Like I normally do with everybody. Hey, do you act? And she's like, no, but what's up? And I'm like, all right, let's talk. And then from that moment, I said, I got a role for you, Big Italy. I need you to play the sister as a psychiatrist to a crime lord. And she's like, I'm in, and that's it. And she's a superstar, man. I'm watching her all the time, man.
No, she's always doing big things.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in today. Thank you to our guests for being here. Laura, thank you for saving me without Chris today. You really helped me out big time. And don't forget to catch Laura's Dilemma each week on the Breeze Shooters podcast show. And with that being said, people, have a safe one. Take care. And look out for White Lily.